All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And the first thing that I want to talk about is BTC may very well be going to the moon. Literally, actually, the moon. Which is a weird thing to say because we're always saying BTC is going to go to the moon. We mean it's going to be worth a lot of money, but BTC may actually literally be going to the moon because MrBeast is gonna send it there. So basically, if you guys don't know who MrBeast is, he's one of the bigger YouTubers. I think he's like probably top 10 or something. I'm not even sure. And he's known for doing outrageously philanthropic things like giving away cars, houses, or exorbitant amounts of money, buying things for people, etc. Basically, like all of his winnings and earnings, etc., from everything he sells and does, he basically just gives it away. Which I'm sure he has a lot of money, but he gives away quite a bit. Pretty outrageous things he does, and apparently he has partnered with NASA. So, in what can be described as the MrBeast and NASA collab, the creator has managed to convince the US Space Agency to let him purchase a container worth of space in an uncrewed rover that is expected to launch later this year. So NASA's going to slap a rover on the moon, and MrBeast apparently bought some space on that rover. So he says, for $10, I'll put whatever picture you want on the moon. That would have to be quite a bit of pictures, I suppose, to equal the amount of money this is probably going to cost. But in a video that was released alongside the announcement, MrBeast also revealed that rather than do something dumb like put a jar of farts in the container, I don't know why you would do that, but yeah, it's pretty dumb. He would instead create the first digital time capsule, giving his followers the opportunity to send a picture that will be stored on a moon-ready hard drive. Those that do so will receive a certificate of authenticity, which to keep as proof that your picture now lives on the moon. To those have just 35 days to make their purchase. And MrBeast has promised that if he sells enough, he will also need $1 million worth of Bitcoin up there too, I guess because he can. So in this video here, he sort of explains why, and we'll have to watch this for a second here. So basically he intends to take some of the earnings, I suppose that is probably going to cost him a lot to buy a container to go on the moon. I'm sure it's not cheap. And then put your pictures in there on a flash drive, and then probably on a nano or something, or some kind of ledger, etc. Put $1 million worth of Bitcoin on the moon, actually on the moon. So, hey, at least that'll take some of it out of circulation. And that's $1 million worth of Bitcoin that the planet will never see again.
Why I'm putting $1 million in Bitcoin on the moon? I mean, it's just kind of funny. And also,
it's for the meme,
part of it too is I do think Bitcoin will go up in value. So it's kind of funny, and obviously don't take investment advice from me. I'm a stupid 22-year-old kid. But I think it'd be funny if we put $1 million of Bitcoin on the moon, and then hypothetically 2, 3, we'll react in a second, 3, 4, 10 years from now, imagine that $1 million of Bitcoin's worth like 15, $20 million. Like there eventually comes a point where like someone might be like, wait a minute, it might be worth it to go get that Bitcoin on the moon. You know what I mean? And
So basically, yes, intends to put Bitcoin actually physically on the moon. And I really don't think this is speculation here. Like MrBeast oddly gets the job done, even when it comes to the most outrageous things. I have no idea how much money that guy has, but apparently he just rakes it in and then just shovels it back out. With $1 million in Bitcoin on a rover on the moon. So yeah, somebody, who knows, maybe 10, 20, 30, 100 years from now is probably going to go destroy that rover and take the Bitcoin because it may be worth, who knows, maybe it'll be worth nothing then. But very interesting indeed. So moving on to some different news. So tons of people buying Bitcoin lately. Apparently some Harvard and Yale endowments have been buying Bitcoin as well since 2018. And they've had a Coinbase account since like 2018, and they were buying then. Nobody knows exactly how much they bought, but apparently it probably wasn't a lot because it obviously didn't pump the price in 2018. But their returns are pretty high. Also, now we have the crypto miner marathon patent Patent Group buying $150 million in Bitcoin, which is almost a small change when it comes to these Grayscale and these other companies buying now. But still, $150 million is no joke. But the cryptocurrency mining company Marathon Patent Group bought $150 million in Bitcoin, and not miners, for around $31,100 apiece during the crypto asset's recent price out. The NASDAQ-listed firm said Monday it purchased a cryptocurrency through institutional Bitcoin, and Marathon is the latest publicly traded company to swap a cash treasury for Bitcoin. And with 4,812 Bitcoin now on the books, one of the largest by sheer investment size. Marathon CEO Marek Okamoto said in a statement the Bitcoin buy accelerates his mining company's transformation into a pure play Bitcoin investment option for crypto-hungry Wall Street traders. So obviously it's a Bitcoin mining company that obviously has tons of ASICs and warehouses, etc. But they decided to just actually not save their own Bitcoin, which they're probably also doing, but also take a lot of their profit money and sort of do what MicroStrategy did, and instead of having their fund, their extra funds in US dollars, they're just switching them to Bitcoin. And now Grayscale and MicroStrategy sort of teaming up and making these basically a company presentation on how your company too can basically take its funds and put them into Bitcoin, which they think is a better idea considering the unbelievable inflation of the US dollar. In fact, I think it's like statistically like a quarter of all US dollars ever printed in the history of the US, or the US dollar, was printed in 2020 alone. I don't think 2021 is going to be particularly any less. I figure it's probably actually going to be even more. So that's probably one of the factors that is driving the Bitcoin price. Now, I don't think my economics level goes that deep into the inflation and how long it actually takes for other products to actually start raising in value, probably instantly, but it's just not recognized instantly. So who knows, maybe just a year's time it really didn't truly affect Bitcoin price. But if it didn't, then essentially that just means that Bitcoin right now is undervalued because there were so many US dollar printed that there's no way that Bitcoin right now is actually worth what it is worth. The market value of it, just because the inflation is getting pretty extreme. So gold, silver, Bitcoin, cryptos, and stuff like that are just rocketing up in price, not only from institutional investment in these companies investing, like this company and MicroStrategy and various others that are now getting in on it. I think 2021 it's going to be a huge year. Now that a lot of other companies got to see some of these beginning companies in 2020 start to buy and see just how much profit they actually made, I think you'd be crazy. Like imagine being the guy that didn't eventually years down the line. You're going to go, oh, I should have gotten on that, like everybody has. So the companies are feeling that Bitcoin FOMO as well. A short little announcement here. Stay tuned, CT. I think that's crypto Twitter. Grayscale and I have something good for you in the AM. I believe Michael Sanhai, I think he's the CEO. Yeah, Grayscale. He said, yes, that was the announcement of the announcement. So it was announced the other day that there was some additional trusts being created by Grayscale. And one of those was Chainlink, there was Mana, Bat, Live Peer, and a couple others. I made a video, the previous video to this one, I mentioned those 6 coins that Grayscale had made a fund for. They had actually not began buying, and their response to the news and the media sort of picking up on that was, hey, just because we made a fund doesn't mean that we're buying yet. We can make a fund and not buy it. However, I argue that why even bother making the fund at all if you were never ever considering buying in the first place? So I think those 6 coins are probably going to be announced tomorrow, either that or just at least one of them. That's my guess. So I'll make a video tomorrow saying what their announcement was. But I mentioned that those 6 coins are likely to be going up in price eventually. Of course, this is crypto. It might take a little while. It might be the next day. It might be months from now. But with an institution actually physically buying up BAT or Chainlink or this, that, or the other thing, well, they got quite a bit of money to do so, especially considering their investments right now is something like $25 billion worth of crypto overall, although the vast majority of that is Bitcoin. As you can see here, like even the next one down, I think this was a couple days ago or something, is 3.9 billion Ethereum. So you can see the discrepancy there. So really, if it was Chainlink or BAT or LivePeer or Mana, it's likely that they're probably only going to be buying like millions or tens of millions at first, which is a lot indeed, but it's nothing compared to what they're going to be buying with Bitcoin. However, it would be they seem like good bet coins at the moment. So moving on here, Rothschild Investment Corporation increases stake in GBTC. I promise I can talk. As institutional adoption grows, so the manager now holds 30,454 shares of Grayscale's GBTC. What they previously were in October was 24,500 shares. So as of December 31st, it was 30,454. So going up a little bit there. So they're increasing. Now remember, these shares are not necessarily one Bitcoin each, so it's not like they have 30,000 Bitcoin or something like that. These shares are just partial fractions of Bitcoin as their premium increases over time. But it still just goes to show that just everybody is buying Bitcoin right now, like everybody. A lot of companies getting into it, and I find this very interesting. That basically every week I have some kind of new companies that are buying absurd amounts of Bitcoin. I mean, we're talking $100 million at a time, 50 million, 150 million. I think MicroStrategy is up to like 1.3 or 1.4 billion dollars. So, and that's basically all of their money. They were valued much lower than that just before they started investing into Bitcoin. So their gamble so far has paid off. It's basically, I mean, like MicroStrategy is essentially like a Bitcoin ETF in disguise. They're just at this point they're borderline a shell company that is just buying Bitcoin. They're not really actually an investment company. I think this is technically a software company. And that's basically all the money they had. So they basically just did a huge gamble. And if that gamble would have failed, that company would probably be underground right now. But just interesting, just the unbelievable amount of buying going on, including $1 million that is likely. I seriously believe that MrBeast is going to get that done with NASA and throw some pictures on a flash drive and apparently $1 million worth of Bitcoin. Now, it's going to be hard to say that $1 million worth of Bitcoin is actually on the moon, but I don't know. I kind of believe the guy. He definitely gives away pretty much everything. It's a good racket, I suppose. You know, making money off videos, being a philanthropist. Boy, we should all get into that, I suppose. But moving on. To coin market cap, we are at $957 billion market cap, still under that 1 trillion. We're going to need to go back up to actually not that much more in terms of Bitcoin price, but once Bitcoin's back at 40,000, we'll definitely be way over that 1 trillion again, which I think is a really solid, good number to have that $1 trillion market cap. And everything else doing pretty good. Ethereum pumped fairly well today, but it is already back on its way down. Too many sell orders there at the all-time high. And it reached above the all-time high, so we actually went way above it. You can see here with the chart, but the day was, I think the high was 1441, somewhere like that, maybe a little higher. But since the scalpers have taken the money off the top, and that's not particularly unusual. But that's all I have for you guys. I just want to say a little announcement that, again, memberships have been turned on the channel. You can go to the front page of the channel, or you can go down below just the video, and there's a little join button. It's $2.99, and you get that. You get your access to the 400-foot underground crypto vault with the 400-foot descending Metal Gear Solid blast furnace industrial replica elevator. You get to go down there, meet Jorge, you get a hearty handshake. But either way, what you really get you get some emotes and you get this cool beans thing. You look cool. And plus, with all of the FBC spam and all the, oh, I bought things on Telegram spam, and you want to comment on the channel and you want to look good, like you want to stand out, right? You're going to stand out if you're a member because you got this blatant thing right next to your name. And then I won't think you're spam. Because I get a lot of spam. You wouldn't believe how much stuff I have to ban every day. I even actually had to ban the word FBC 13 and FBC 14 on my channel just because there was literally like 50 comments per video about FBC 14. I thought my review video, if you guys haven't seen that review video yet, let's check it out. Oh man, it's right over here. The FBC Fund FBC 13 algorithm review video. I feel like I did really good on that one. I think I really gave them the review that they were looking for, but I think I did so good with that review, in fact, that they're now spamming the channel even harder. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the videos, social media in the description below. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.